Yeah.
All right, it's a freeform rock podcast after show, and I'm the only one drinking hard alcohol. You guys all suck except Mooger.
Yeah, lush.
Mooger has an excuse. He had surgery. He's on medication, so Mooger gets a pass. And if
No,
Mooger never drinks again, I'm cool with that. So if he wants
well,
to
I
quit,
don't drink
it's
too often.
not. No, I was only on medication for about 5 days, and it was like an eighth of the dose they were telling me to take. I just need to heal my wounds, baby. I can't be
clean my
thinning my
wounds.
blood.
COC, man. Clean my wounds.
Yeah,
Great fucking
love that
song, man.
song. Love
Hey,
it.
but I did a freeform quick thoughts today, and I was just asking people, what got you into music? And what is your GOAT vocalist of all time?
Hmm.
So, what got you into music, Jerry?
I've just been around it. It's your environment, I think. At first, I get you into it. Like I said, I always say this every time when I get in. How did I get in this band? Because my sisters listen to rock and roll, and I grew up with that.
But what band is like, fuck, I love music. I need to listen to more music. What band or artist like
I,
got you into
I,
that?
I'm serious when I say this. It's a band that me and Joseph do a show for. It sticks, man. I just remember going to my sister's house, blasting that Paradise Theater album, being obsessed with the back of the B side of that album. Just, I thought it was really cool, and I always used to request station Q102 in Cincinnati. I always request like every song that was a hit, like Best of Times, Rocket to Paradise, Too Much Time. I every day get home from school, I try to request all of them, and like maybe 3 hours later, they'd actually play one of them. But because back then it took a while because they had a lot of requests. But that's how, man. It's organic, what my environment, which with vocally, my favorite vocalist. I mean, it's always been Brad Delp. I mean, the guy's phenomenal. One of the best singers. I mean, he is the best rock and roll singer ever. Just I was thinking about more than the feeling today, and yeah, it's played to death. But what a song!
Not
Amazing.
free?
The lyrics. And has there ever been anything that sounds remotely close to that song?
I
I
never
can't
turn
think
it.
of
It
it.
might be overplayed, man, but I never turn that
I've
song
never
when it
got
comes
bored of
on.
that song. Never.
I cannot think of anything that sounded like Boston to this day. They were so original. Tom was a genius, but Brad's vocals, rest in peace, Brad, is always been like special to me. Just
Hey,
amazing,
if you feel
amazing
like you
singer.
need to kill yourself, go to the helplines because that guy needed help, you know.
Yeah. What a shame. I mean, I was
Killed
fortunate to
himself,
see him
man.
twice, so I'm fortunate enough to have seen him. So,
Suicide is never the solution.
nope.
Nope.
That's
Never.
pretty much. I mean, it's organic and a product of my environment, how I got into music. So,
Mooger, how did you get into music? What was the band that hit
That's a
you?
tough question. That's a tough question. I mean, when did any of us get into music?
Oh, I
I mean,
know.
it's so our environment, like Jerry was saying, it was just a product of my environment. I, I I can remember loving music before I could talk. And yes, I have memories that go back that far.
I don't.
And whether it was my little toy, Jack in the Box, or it had a amusing melody to it, or something I'd hear on the radio station that my dad was playing or mom was playing. Church, always loved the
Yeah.
hymns when I was a kid growing up.
Uh,
Um,
one of
and then my
those
dad's
hymns.
my dad's records, man, they were Elvis, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Richie Valens, Big Bopper, the Ventures, Peter, Paul, and Mary, for God's sake. I mean, there was a just in the he was a child of the 40s, 50s, 60s, so 70s rolled around. He was still holding on to some of the 50s, 60s stuff, and that's kind of what I grew up on. Stumbled upon Kiss through my brother, 4 years older from me, and then the rocket ship was off, man. Because then it wasn't just Kiss; it was
You went on that rocket ride?
I went on that rocket ride, but I did not
he's a
take a
six
hold of that
foot, hot
rocket in
look,
his
all
pocket.
American man.
Yeah. Anyway, it definitely, I mean, it took my musical venture took off. When I was old enough, I was like probably 4 or 5, and I knew who Kiss were. I could identify them. I knew who Elvis was. I knew who all these big artists were that I was always flipping through my dad's records. Even that young, I learned how to use a turntable. Holy smokes. So I'm all over the place musically for a reason because I've never been closed-minded enough not to like something just because it's of a certain genre. I'll listen to anything. And if I like it, man. If I don't, I don't. That's exactly, and that could be classical, country, rap, R&B, metal, thrash metal, death metal. I like it all. I love it all. So that's kind of my musical journey, product of my environment for sure. Always been a part of my life. Once I lose my hearing completely, it'll still be in my head. You can't take that away. Um, Favorites, vocalists, like overall of all time in any genre or just rock?
Any genre. What's your favorite vocalist?
Too hard to narrow down, man. There's a perfect vocalist for different genres and different songs and different albums. I've always thought Michael Sweet has always had an amazing vocal. Can't take that away from the guy. God, it just goes on and on. I mean, Steve Perry, forget about it, man. He just amazing vocalist.
Yeah.
There's so many vocalists I like for different reasons. It's impossible unless you want to say Pavarotti or something. But,
Oh no.
Gotcha.
Also, I owe MTV a lot of credit too,
Yep.
as far as musical taste. I learned a lot of music from watching MTV. So
I
I gotta give them
did too.
credits.
I
Gotta
did
give
too.
MTV credit because they were actually kind of cool at one time before they stopped playing videos.
Well,
Believe it or not, they still
Headbangers
play a
Ball for
video every
sure.
now and then. They still play a video every now and then between shows.
WAP?
Okay.
Okay.
It's hard to catch, but they do.
It is. That's actually how
but-
I got into The Warning, actually. I was watching Ridiculousness and they had time.
Yeah.
They played a Warning video. I'm like, dude, these girls are awesome. So that's how I actually
The Warning
discovered
kind of
them.
rules. We kind of need to review one of their albums one
Yeah.
day. Get a new artist on here.
And then find out they're all sisters. It's like,
Hey,
wow, even cooler.
They are from Mexico. We got a BS session coming.
Yeah.
Joseph, how did you get into music? What got you into music? And what's your GOAT vocalist?
I honestly don't remember a time in my life without music. I grew up, thankfully, thank God, in a household that was completely surrounded by music at all times. To this day, I mean, there's not a day that goes by where we don't have the radio on in our house pretty consistently. There's playing some kind of music. But I grew up with two parents that love listening to music. I still to this day, a lot of the concerts I go with my mom usually. Thankfully, one of the coolest experiences of my life was, I've told the story before, a Kick show that I saw that was local to me at this little fire hall. And one of the best parts about it was the fact that both of my parents were there with me. I got to see Kicks with both my parents, who were what got me into music. And Kicks is one of the bands that really grabbed me at first. But growing up with a lot of classic rock mainly, so Kiss was one of the first bands that really grabbed me. Scorpions, I grew up on a lot of Scorpions. Styx, Kansas, Journey, Van Halen, Nazareth. Like a lot of those bands are what I bought. The first Boston album we played constantly. So it was a lot of those sort of bands that I listened to that really got me into music. And then when I got into high school and kind of forged my own path was when I got into the heavier stuff. That was when I discovered metal. I had never really heard a lot of that before. That's when I really dove headfirst into metal. I'm a huge fan of classical music. That's why I have a giant stack of literally nothing but Mozart sitting next to me right now. I have the soundtrack to the movie Amadeus right here.
Rock Me Amadeus.
Not that Amadeus, but
I like Falco, man. Falco
that's
rule.
not a bad song. But yeah, I
love that
there's-
Amadeus movie. F. Murray Abraham was
Oh, yeah.
awesome in that movie.
phenomenal.
Hey,
movie.
Tom Holtz, man. Animal House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's not. I just love music. There's not a day in my life that goes by that I don't just surround myself with music. It's my biggest passion by far, and it's funny thinking about who my favorite vocalist of all time, and it'll sound funny, but there's a reason. If I had to pick my favorite vocalist of all time, I would probably go with Karen Carpenter. I think her voice is untouchable, and the circumstances of her life, it's such a tragedy with that talent between her vocal ability, and she was an amazing drummer too.
Very
Just
good
all that
drummer.
talent and the way that she lost her life, it was extremely sad. But one of the reasons that I am so in love with her voice is growing up, my family had a special love for Christmas music. I still do. I think Christmas music is one of my favorite genres of music.
So you're looking
My
forward to that Striper Christmas album.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. My dad's best friend, he runs his own AM radio station out of the back porch of his house. He has this whole setup where he has an old AM tube radio, like setup that he broadcasts, and we live right up the street from him, so we can hear his radio station. And for at least 3 months of the year, he's playing old Christmas music. Just everything going back to Bing Crosby, Perry Como, Ray Conniff, Andy Williams, all the way up to current stuff like Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And my family has always had a really great love for Christmas music, and particularly one of my favorite Christmas albums of all time is the Carpenters' Christmas Portrait. Hearing Karen Carpenter sing some of those Christmas songs, it just gives me a great feeling. Just her vocals on some of those songs are just some of my favorite vocal performances. And pairing that, if she's my favorite female vocalist, I'd probably go with Freddie Mercury as my favorite male vocalist. I think his voice is just untouchable. And the fact that another person who had a very tragic life story, and the fact that he was able to sing with that amazing of a voice all the way to the end of his life, listening to some of those recordings on Innuendo and Made in Heaven that he recorded in the last year of his life. Innuendo is just some of those performances when you know the condition that he was in.
The show must go on.
Some of his best work.
The show must go on was the last song he recorded. He said, "I need to finish."
No, it wasn't.
Well, he said he needed to finish this album.
Yes, that is true. But that was not the last song he recorded.
But the
last song he recorded is even sadder because he didn't finish the last song.
Yeah, Brian May finished.
Brian May had to sing the last verse.
On Innuendo?
Mother Love
Made in
on Made in
But
Heaven.
I'm talking about the Innuendo album. The last song he recorded was "The Show Must Go On," I think.
It was not. No, that was not even meant. What he wanted to be his final song was It All Worth It from The Miracle.
I love that song.
The song that closes out The Miracle.
Yeah.
He said, if this is the last song that I ever record, I'll die happy.
Yeah.
That was like everyone always talks about how The Show Must Go On was his swan song. Really, it wasn't. That was like, I was given extra time. I'm going to do this triumphant song. But he thought he was going to be dead even sooner. And so when they recorded The Miracle, he recorded Was It All Worth It as his kind of goodbye. But those last couple Queen albums are just absolutely phenomenal. Some of the best work they had done since the early 70s. I think their first few albums and their last few albums are my favorite, honestly.
Considering that they probably I wouldn't say completely rushed. They had to have been some urgency in getting those songs recorded.
And I think that
they sounded amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that urgency, because you could tell with they got a little lackadaisical in the 80s. So all of that, did the Dodgers win, Mark?
Yes.
Okay. Good job. Not that you had anything to do with it, but some of those albums that they recorded, I mean, like Hot Space and The Works, there's some good stuff on The Works, but in general, you could tell that was a band that just didn't have a direction. They were just doing anything for anybody. And then it's sad to say, but I think Freddie's health put a sense of renewed urgency in that band. Freddie said he wanted to record as much music as he could
until he died, until he dropped. He wanted to drop dead in the studio.
Yes. And so he was able to record so many great. I mean, there's still a couple of clunkers on each of those last couple albums, but they were by far
Delilah.
The Miracle and Innuendo are the two strongest albums they've recorded in a decade.
I love Miracle, man.
I'm slightly mad. There's some weird, cool shit there. Yeah.
Great stuff, though.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think his health not only put the band's urgency to a different level, but everybody involved working with it.
Oh, yeah.
The production wasn't going to fool around and mess things up. Engineering wasn't going to do any of that. They were going to be on point. If that was his last take, you don't want to be the one that screwed that up.
Exactly. Every song could have been his last. So,
right. Every take could have been of that song could have been his last.
They were literally propping him up with vodka. and put him in front of a microphone. That's how sick he was, man.
Wow.
I mean, think about it this way: between 81 and 88,
He wanted to do that, though.
Those-
Sorry, he wanted to do that. He wasn't forced to do it. He wanted to do it. That's why.
those 7 years, they only recorded 3 albums, so they weren't doing a lot of output in the early to mid part of the 80s. In the last 3 years of Freddie's life, they recorded 3 full albums, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's the renewed push, I think, and great results from it.
I'll give Adam Lambert credit. He does a pretty good job singing.
He does.
Yeah,
I would
see-
like to see Queen
Yeah.
with Adam Lambert.
and they still sell out fucking arenas, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that band is amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the what do you call it? The
Did you
mythology.
see
not
the
mythology,
documentary
but
on Netflix about that? Pretty cool shit, man.
I think I did see that. Yeah.
One of my
Pretty good
favorite
set.
music documentaries is Queen Days of Our Lives. That's a really great
Yeah.
documentary
Oh, yeah.
from like
Very
10
I mean,
years ago or so.
The hologram with Freddie coming out and singing fucking
Love of My Life.
Love of My Life is just
Mhm.
so cool. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
They do his memory proud.
they
Yeah,
do.
they do.
There's
Yeah.
some bands, I mean, compare what Queen plus Adam Lambert does versus what The Last in Line does.
Yeah.
And you have
Adam
two very
Lambert's
different
way better.
you have on Queen where it's only 2 original members who both still sound phenomenal, and they're honoring Freddie with every performance, with videos. They still the original operatic section of Bohemian Rhapsody, Love of My Life. They do the AOs. They do Freddie sings. They play part of Somebody to Love. He sings usually, but they do a great job. And then you look at something like Last in Line, where the last time I saw Last in Line, they didn't even say Dio's name.
No.
And if you didn't know it, other than the fact that they're playing practically nothing but Dio songs, and the fact that it's Vivian Campbell and Vinny Appice and Phil Soussan, who wasn't in Dio, but it was Jimmy Bain originally.
Yeah,
There
he
must have
got
been some
cancer.
bad.
He
There must have
didn't
been
even
some
die of
total
cancer.
bad blood, man. I mean, that's all I can.
Yeah,
say.
but the
I
sad
mean,
part is they're happy to make money off that legacy.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That's
though.
true.
That's what's fucked up is that they're out there playing those songs. They're playing We Rock. They're playing Last in Line. They're playing Rainbow
Right.
in the Dark. They're playing Holy Diver. They're playing all these Dio songs that are iconic because Dio. It was
I
the
wonder
band
what
named
Wendy
after
Dio
him.
thinks about that.
I'm sure she don't like it.
I'm sure she don't like it, and
Yeah.
it's sad because, I mean, to be fair, yeah, Ronnie said some really messed up stuff about Vivian Campbell too.
Yeah, he did.
But to then act like this, play those songs, and not even acknowledge Dio.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the fact that when I saw them, they acknowledged Jimmy Bain. They acknowledged I can't remember who else they talked about. They talked about like 2 other people who had passed away, and they did not say Dio's name once.
That's fucked up. Our Ronnie James Dio rules.
Yeah.
He's my I'm sorry, Ozzy. I like Ronnie better. Ozzy.
I mean, if I was in a band and we didn't get along at all, but you cannot dismiss that legend, that fucking
No.
greatness that was Ronnie James Dio on the
Mhm.
stage or
you
in the
can't.
studio.
You can't.
And to be fair, nobody would know. Vinny Appice, definitely. I mean, he had a great career before Dio. Nobody on the planet Earth would know Vivian Campbell's name if it weren't for Ronnie James Dio.
Yep, exactly.
Nobody would know this Andrew Freeman guy, who I think has a great voice. His only claim to fame is that he's singing a Dio cover band.
He tried to sing a Great White, it didn't work. Also,
Yeah.
yeah. They got a new kid in there. It's pretty good.
Oh, he's great. I've seen
I
them
want
twice
to
with
see
the
them make a
kid.
new album with him. I wish they would.
Yeah.
I would enjoy that.
I've seen Great White with 3 different singers, none of them being Jack Russell.
I've seen Jack
it.
Russell's Great
I've
White.
only
They
seen
were
it with
great.
Jack Russell. I've only seen it with Jack
I saw
Russell.
I saw them with the guy from XYZ.
Horrible.
He was great. I thought he did a great job.
Terry
actually.
Illinois?
Yeah, Terry Elius. Yeah,
I
thought he did
hate
a great
those
job.
albums he made with them now.
I'd never heard the albums. I thought he sounded great.
Oh,
live.
they're horrible, dude. They're
No,
horrible.
you want to know a bad one? I saw them live with Mitch Malloy.
Oh,
Oh,
that
boy.
is really bad. The guy he thinks he was the singer of Van Halen.
He was in Van Halen.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
Oh, it was so bad. It
I
was
hate Mitch
so
Malloy
bad.
so bad. He's worse than Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
all the different. It's going to M3 every year and seeing all these same
And I
bands.
love
And
Sammy.
I've seen like 10 different lineups of some of these bands. I saw the Frankie Banali lineup of Quiet Riot. Now I've seen the Rudy Sarzo lineup of
Sarzo.
Quiet Riot, which it's basically It was, I think it was the first time I saw them. They
Hey,
had the guy from
Jizzy
American
sounds
Idol.
pretty good in Quiet
Oh, Jizzy
Riot.
sounds amazing.
Amazing,
That-
Quiet Riot.
I always will. I would go out of my way to see this current lineup of Quiet
They
Riot.
should
They're
make
awesome.
a new album with Jizzy, man.
New Love Hate
Jizzy
album's
sounds
pretty good, by the way.
What you said?
It's pretty good. The New Love Hate album's pretty good.
Oh, that's yeah.
I love
Jizzy
Love
sounds
Hate.
amazing singing the Quiet Riot stuff. Rudy's still amazing. Alex Grossi's an amazing guitar player. I can never remember the drummer's name, but they have a great lineup of musicians.
They do.
I've seen this current lineup 3 times now, and they're always great.
Hey, so I'm gonna say, I already said this on my video today on Quick Dots. My GOAT has always been Lou Gramm. Lou Gramm, a Foreigner, has always been my favorite singer. C. Perry's like right there with him. Or James LeBray. Yeah, I love those singers. But Lou Gramm is like, God damn. It might be timeline like Rock and Metal Combat Podcast always says. Because when I told my mom, I used to watch what is that? The cartoon of Yellow Submarine as a kid. And I go, I want an album by the Beatles. I want to hear some Beatles on. So she got me Sgt. Pepper's. And I said, well, I like this like double vision shit. Can you give me that too? And she gave me double vision. At 7, she got me maybe 6 or 7. She got me both those cassettes. And it's like, I fell in love with rock and roll with those bands, the Beatles and Foreigner. Even though the Beatles are right there with Rush, Foreigner is my number 3. It's like,
See, I think that's definitely timeline for you because I like Foreigner. I grew up listening to Foreigner. My dad had the Greatest Hits Live album, which I still think is a really great live album. But they've never been one of my favorite bands. And honestly, I like Lou Gramm as a vocalist. He would never probably even crack my top 50 as a vocalist.
It's 2 solo albums. Oh my god!
I love Midnight Blue is an amazing song. I love
Midnight
that song.
Blue.
That's my favorite Lou Gramm of anything song is Midnight Blue.
You don't like Lost in the Shadows from the Lost Boys?
I do. No, I'm saying it's my favorite song.
That's his favorite of any between Foreigner and Lou Gramm
solo stuff. Midnight Blue is
just
great
between you and me on the second album. Oh my god, so good. One Hard Look. I love
both
his solo albums, man.
You know what else has actually got me into music was imagery. Jimmy Page holding the bow up. I mean, that was just got me into it.
I mean, look at who my favorite band as a kid was.
Yeah, Kiss Alive.
I got
imagery helped too.
I got into Led Zeppelin because of the box set. I will admit that. I got into Led Zeppelin. They are one of my all-time favorite bands. I love Led Zeppelin. And I heard a interview with Jason Bonham today where he says that he has no ill will towards Sammy Hagar. They're great friends and stuff like that. That's cool. But he was kind of pissed at him. And that's honest. I love hearing that shit. But the thing is, Sammy is a douche. I will tell you that. He's a douchebag. And Jason said he got kind of pissed because he said that the drummer he has now has more energy than he had.
Yeah.
It's like, I love the drummer, Kenny Azonoff. He's a great drummer.
You gotta hype up your band members, though. You have to.
There's no Z in his name, Mark. Kenny Aronoff.
Carrie. Well, I'm fucked up. I've been
he was John Cougar's drummer for how long? Fuck.
Yeah.
I mean,
but when I saw Chickenfoot, Kenny Aronoff was the drummer. It wasn't Chad Smith. Yeah.
But I have to laugh when you talk about like growing up, all these different memories. One of the memories I always remember as a kid, Kiss was my favorite band growing up. Absolutely, by far, it was the band that got me into music. Kiss Destroyer. I wore that album out so much, which is funny because now it's not even in my top 10 Kiss albums. But I loved that album so much growing up. And one of the memory I always remember is when it was 2003 and 2004. So I would have been 4 and 5 years old. Damn. My parents saw Kiss on both of those tours. The 03
I never
tour
saw Kiss, man.
The 03 tour with Aerosmith and the 04 Rock the Nation tour. They saw both of those tours at Hershey. And I was, as a 4 and 5 year old kid, I was so jealous.
Did they get the live CD afterwards on the Rock the Nation tour?
Yep.
Yeah.
I still have it. The Hershey show. But which is funny because Poison was opening up that tour, and Poison was from that area, so it was like a hometown show for Poison. But yeah, growing up, I was so jealous of my parents. I'm like, I want to go see Kiss, and finally, actually, that was my first concert when I was 11. My dad took me to see Kiss on the Sonic Boom tour of all things. Oh, boy.
That's when they were still good, though.
No, they were not.
They were not.
Sonic Boom. No, that was after Paul lost his voice.
Oh, really?
Paul sounded bad.
Oh yeah, big time.
It's like, they're doing Heaven's on Fire. I'm like, don't do it, Paul. Don't do that.
I love Heaven's on Fire.
No, Rock the Nation was the last tour that he sounded good because I mean, God, I adore this DVD.
That's an amazing DVD.
I adore this DVD.
I really think his solo tour is what ruined.
Oh, it was what did it. Yeah.
But I saw that same tour, Joe, come through a local amphitheater just south of us, and Poison open. Kiss were spot on, amazing. A tornado ripped through the campsite prior to the show, so that was interesting. Like that's we were fine because I know how to pitch a tent, honk honk. But
I bet you
do.
I bet you do.
Good with that.
You got a gorgeous wife.
Was it you, Booger, that said there was a tornado that hit Rocklahoma one year too?
Oh my God!
You that said that?
Oh yeah!
Damn, dude, you got bad. I'm not going to a concert with you, man. I'm sorry.
Hey, those were the only two natural disasters. I promise. Okay. Other than being evacuated at an Iron Maiden concert, but we're not going to talk about that.
Damn, man.
Yeah. So it's now, man. Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's a great DVD.
Yeah. No, I grew up. I had this. They got this not too long after when this came out because they saw the tour. And they got this DVD, but we would watch this.
Wait, which one is that?
The Rock the Nation.
I didn't know they had a video for that.
Oh, it's amazing. I
guess got the live CD afterwards after the show.
Professional
CDs.
This was from I think they filmed this in DC. I think, but it is an amazing DVD.
Yeah, and that is with both Eric and Tommy, right?
Yes. Yeah. This was the first.
Does your DVD? Did you have the option on your DVD, which I found pretty cool at the time it came out?
Yeah, all the different angles and stuff.
Yeah, you could like switch to Peter. You could Eric. You could
to Eric.
Switch.
Yeah, there are certain songs. If you look on the back here, there's some songs that are in bold. If you click, I think they called it Kiss Vision, or Power Vision or something like that. If you click that, you could pick what camera you wanted to watch for the whole song, and you could switch between cameras and stuff instead of like the normal editing. But no, the two DVDs that my family watched all the time when I was growing up was Kiss Rock the Nation and Scorpions Live at Wacken. These are two amazing concert DVDs here.
You pay me, Joseph. I love you, and I know you're a kid. But when you say that you're like 4 or 5 and what, 2004?
Oh yeah, I was born in 1999.
Yeah, great year for music in my opinion.
Great year.
So you were born on a great year.
Yep.
1 0
stake through my heart when I think
out of time.
4 or 5.
We're gonna party like it's 1999.
To think that I was 10 years old when Sonic Boom came out. But that Sonic Boom was the first Kiss album to come out in my lifetime.
Do you guys like Prince?
I love Prince.
Thank you. I just want to ask you that. But I got some.
Yeah, no, I had to laugh because it was like.
You know how we're always making fun of Netflix saying they're going to have this rockumentary on these artists?
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is true, but I don't know if this is going to be on Netflix. The cast for the Scorpions biopic Wind of Change is announced. So
yes, I think that one is real. That one is
real, but it's not going to be on Netflix, though.
Yeah, it's going to be some other streaming thing.
Yeah, but that is cool. I'd like to see that.
That's a weird band to be getting their own biopic.
Right? Right?
I adore the Scorpions. Scorpions are easily in my top 10 bands of all time. Weird band to be getting a biopic.
Right?
Kind of. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they were like this huge influential band or anything. I mean,
no, they're not.
They're a great band, and they kind of get associated with Wind to Change because of the Berlin
Who
Wall
the fuck did they influence?
Not really anybody.
Right? Just like Steve Miller, right?
Easily one of my favorite bands of all time. Amazing albums. Didn't really influence anybody.
No.
I've not heard a lot of people say, yeah, my biggest influence growing up was the Scorpions.
I hear about John Roth. That's about it. Or Michael Schenker. I don't hear anything about Klaus Meine.
Other than people saying like he's an amazing vocalist. That's like,
yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Which I will agree with Ralph. Ralph has always said for like the last 10, 15 years that he's getting ahead of the train because he says on the day that Klaus Meine dies, everyone and their brother is going to be saying that he's the greatest vocalist of all time.
I agree with him on that too, because they always do that.
But we're saying it now.
We're saying it now. Yes.
Klaus Meine is easily in my top 5 vocalists.
He's a great vocalist. Yes.
No.
I like I said, I picked Lou Gramm, but Klaus Meine is my top 5.
mean, Always Somewhere. Listen to some of the stuff he does on that. I mean,
Catch Train?
Yeah. He could do the heavy, hard rock stuff. He could do these beautiful ballads. And
Blackout?
He had a great voice for it.
Great fucking singer, man. Great singer. Worldwide Live was one of my top 5 live albums of all time. Booger,
I put that in. It takes me straight to the summer, I think, of '85. And I was in my parents' big ass garden picking weeds and picking green beans. And I remember just being sweltering hot with my, you won't remember this, Joseph, but they used to sell pop/soda, whatever you want to call it, in like 16-ounce or 20-ounce bottle maybe, and it had these like nice little spirals at the top of them. You return them to the grocery store, you got like 15 cents or something. But I remember just swigging down Pepsi and listening to Worldwide Live. It puts me straight back to the garden, and it is a good memory. I love that record.
See, I can relate with the Scorpions summer memories. The Scorpions, like I said, were one of the bands that I grew up with. That was still is one of my dad's all-time favorite bands, and we listen to the Scorpions to this day all the time.
Nice.
And listening to Love at First Sting and Blackout, and I was lucky enough to grow up knowing the Uli John Roth era of the Scorpions. I wasn't one of those people that only knew the later stuff. My dad had the best of Scorpions on cassette, the original, the RCA, with all the Uli John Roth songs on it. So I knew all that stuff growing up, and Scorpions are easily one of my favorite bands of all time just because of how much they meant to me growing up. I'm a Scorpions apologist. All those later era albums that everyone shits on, I love those albums, except for Eye to Eye.
Except for Eye to Eye. Hour One is one of the best albums of
Amazing
all time.
album. Amazing. Love that album.
Jerry, what about you on the Scorpions documentary, man?
I mean, compared to the other ones you mentioned, like Dokken getting one, I mean,
that one I don't get at all.
I think the Scorpions deserve it a little more.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be kind of interesting. There's a long history there, man. I mean, with that band, so I think it'd be kind of interesting. Am I like jonesing for it? No, but I'll watch it if it comes out.
Well, we watch it. I watched the Milli Vanilli documentary, man. I watch all that shit. It's like interesting to me.
Well, I missed that one.
It's on Paramount Plus.
Was it a real documentary? Or was it?
Yeah, it was on Paramount Plus. It's pretty cool. Yeah. It's a good documentary, man.
I love that documentary.
It was really good. It's really good. Check it out. But what about you guys think about the Ramones Dolby Atmos mixes of the band's first albums available as a Blu-ray collection on 1, 2, 3, 4?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know.
I've never been caught up in all these like Dolby Atmos things.
Yeah,
I've never been. It doesn't really sound that different to me, to be honest.
It doesn't, unless you have the Dolby Atmos in your freaking ceiling.
But that's the thing. Is like all these bands when they put out a box set, it'll have a Blu-ray of like 5.1 surround sound mix or Dolby Atmos mix and all this stuff.
Rush has all that shit, and I don't buy that.
Yeah. Or like all these like the things I like all these like 45 RPM half speed master, and I'm like,
I got that on the Rolling Stones.
I don't get it.
It sounds pretty good though.
Get it. It all sounds the same to me.
I got the Rolling Stones.
Here's my thing. I can tell you when there's bad production, but all these different remasters and stuff, it sounds the same.
It does, except
in my ears.
Except the Megadeth remasters are horrible.
Well, I can tell. I can tell when it's done poorly, but I'm not. My ears aren't. I'm not enough of an audiophile to be able to tell you the difference between X, Y, and Z when it comes to whether it was a
Yeah.
5.1 surround sound or just a straight remaster or this Dolby Atmos shit.
Well,
My ears are
yeah.
not that well trained.
No, I
Joseph,
agree.
we are brother and brother on that one because I can never hear that difference.
Right.
No.
Like remastering people is not remixing. They don't have they're not taking master tracks and bumping shit up and re-affecting things in the mix.
Yeah.
What they're doing is they're adding treble, mid, and low to your mix. That's all they're doing on
I
the
think
remaster.
one of the best remixes was the Kicks, Blow My Fuse.
I don't know, this Beatles remasters were pretty fucking good.
Reblown was amazing.
There are some that sound
Um,
much better when they're
yeah.
remastered, but very few to me. Very
I
few.
prefer-
Animals I thought sounded great. I mean,
yeah, the 2018.
Oh yeah,
remix.
the Animals one. I got that
I
box
love
set.
that trend lately of these remixes that are coming out because there was for so long when everything there was like a first issue CD with the like plain like black siding on it,
yeah.
and then there would always be like a new updated, and it was always remastered, and it sounded the same. It was just a little cleaner usually. But then now, like the last probably,
yes,
yeah, now like the last 10 or so years, the remixing has been what's been popular.
Yeah,
Pink Floyd did it with Animals. They did it with
Animals sounded amazing.
Momentary Lapse. They did it with.
That was great too.
They changed the vocals. Like they did one of my favorite David Gilmour vocals is on the Turning Away, and they changed what take they used,
Oh,
and I think it was awful. But
I don't think I have that remix, but I like the Animals remix.
Yeah, the Animals remix is amazing. But
Amazing.
Kicks did it. They had
that was amazing right there.
They
I
had
love
Beau
that
Hill. They had Beau Hill actually go in and do a full remix. Beatles, Giles Martin's been doing all those remixes. I mean, anything Steven Wilson touches is amazing.
Fuck yeah, the Black Sabbath
Black
stuff.
Sabbath. He's done it for Black Sabbath, Jethro Tull, yes.
I
King
love
Crimson,
Junior
Marillion.
They do Black Sabbath.
He even did. I think Steven Wilson did. Oh, I think on the box set for Kiss Destroyer, it was a remix. Steven Wilson did a remix.
Oh, nice.
But on not on this the 2-disc CD, it's just a remaster. But yeah, all those Steven Wilson remixes are amazing. I love that a lot of bands are doing that now, where they're actually going back. Some albums that were produced great the first time, some that needed a little bit of help. That
Kicks
you go back.
Blow by Fuse needed a little help though.
Yeah, I mean,
even
those
though I
two
love
Kicks,
that album so much.
Midnight
I
Dynamite
like the
did
sound. It was
same
very
thing,
tin canish, but I like the sound of that album originally.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm in the
well,
minority.
you
obviously.
kind
I-
of like the remix better. We did a.
I'm
episode on
used
BS on
I'm
that.
used to the original, but particularly for Blow My Fuse, I think the remix is awesome.
Fuck yeah.
There's certain tracks from Midnight Dynamite that I think I like the remix more, but not as much as this one. I think this one was more solid. But what I heard they're doing next is they're doing Black Sabbath Born Again. I heard is getting a remix.
wonderful.
which
I
be
was just
interested
going to
to
bring
hear.
that up. Can we promise the seed? They found the tapes, I hear,
Yes.
that were missing. They found the tapes. I don't know. I think we're all just so used to that production.
Mm-hmm.
Be so interesting to hear a new production on it.
Well, that's what I mean when they did the where's that? The Forbidden. They did the remix last year as part of the box set. They released it actually by itself as well. I have the individual CD. I think this sounds so much better now. I mean, the songs
Tony
still
Martin?
aren't great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the songs still aren't great, but it sounds so much better because this always sounded like shit. Like the production on this was ass, and I
don't
think
like
they did a
Tony
great
Martin
job
shit
with
at
the
all.
remix. But I'm interested to hear what they do with. I don't dislike how Born Again sounds, but I think I'll be interested to see how it sounds with a remix.
I agree. I like Born Again a lot. That's a really good album.
Mm-hmm.
I love Ian Gillan a lot, but fuck man. What do you guys think about Megadeth to release Ultra Limited Killing Is My Business is good 40th anniversary box set in October?
I try not to think about Megadeth actually.
I know you do. But what do you Megadeth fans in this? What do you guys think about that?
I don't, it's the box sets are just getting the money grabs anymore. They're just going to throw some shit in there to make it look good or whatever. Maybe some remixing, remastering. I don't know, man. It's like, do we need it?
I've
Do we
only
need
bought the Sabotage box set by Black Sabbath, which is good. The Black Crows and Jimmy Page box set, which was good.
Uh-huh.
And I bought the Rush Moving Pictures box set, which was awesome because it had live
Mhm.
records from Toronto on a moving pictures tour, which was awesome. I am not a box set fan, but I know the Metallica box sets are really good. I just didn't have the money for that shit.
That
The
was always
load
my
and
every year
reload.
my Christmas gift was one of the Metallica box sets.
Yeah.
Well,
You're gonna get
they
the
just
reload
like,
this year then?
well, they reissued load and reload,
Load,
right?
you're gonna get
Yeah,
load
not
this
not
year?
reload yet, just load.
You're gonna get load
Okay,
this
well,
year?
No,
look at the track listing on that's bullshit. It's like this was the original guitar riff for King of the Day. This is the original outtake of James picking his nose. This is the original demo version where Lars farted at the end. It's like there are really no different
yeah,
songs
but
on
that's
that
There's
like
two
couple.
what there's
yeah, but that's
238 release
those
tracks.
those those like demo versions are not what the draw of those box sets are.
No.
Those Metallica box sets give you your money's worth on live stuff.
Yes.
They give like
Mhm.
they include like 10 full live concerts in each box set. CDs, vinyls, DVDs. They have all kinds of stuff. I have all I have all of them up to the Black Album except for Kill 'Em All because the first one was kind of bare bones. It only had like 5 CDs in it and like a DVD. Because I mean, there really wasn't that much. I mean, it was their first album. They didn't have that much stuff. A lot of those tapes didn't exist. The live concerts are like cut. They like stuff is cut out because the tape didn't exist. Um, but then starting with like Ride the Lightning, and then by the time you get to the Black Album box set's nuts. It's like 20 CDs, 8
Holy shit.
vinyls, 6 DVDs. The I can't remember. I think it was the Master of Puppets box that came with a freaking cassette tape of
Oh
one of the
wow.
live concerts. I think it was Jason's first ever concert. They had on it was on a cassette tape. But they always
Nice.
include really cool stuff. I love those Metallica. I'm not one for box sets. There's not another band that I have any box sets for, like big ones like that. Those
I only got
Metallica
the
ones are worth it.
Sabotage CD box set and the Rush Moving Pictures one.
Hmm.
That's it.
Yeah. As far as like those big vinyl box sets, Metallica's
Yeah.
the only band I've ever actually gotten them for because I think those
I
they
would
did a
like to
great
get them.
job.
I don't want the load
No,
at
I'm
all.
not. I told my mom because she asked me. She's like, "So when's the next one coming out?" I said, "I'm done. The Black Album's the last one I want.
Well, if
I
they
don't
ever
want
come
any
out
more
with
after this."
Hardwired to Self-Destruct or
Oh yeah, in what like 20 years from now
the
when they
last
put that
three
out.
albums they did, I love those three albums, man.
But the thing is, Mark, all those concerts have already been released, so there's not gonna be like much for the box set.
Saint Anger? No,
No.
no, no. Please
Now
no.
the Lulu box set that I
No! That is a Lou Reed album. Don't put
oh no, it's
Metallica in
awful.
this shit.
It's atrocious. It's absolute
I
ass.
like a lot of songs
I
off that
hate
album.
Lou Reed.
I hate Lou Reed too, but there's a lot of great music on that album. You just take Lou Reed's vocals out, it's amazing. And then we'll get to one last thing here. Kelly Hansen on his final tour with Foreigner. I'm just trying to soak it in and have a joyful time with it. What do you guys think of that?
Enjoy it. Good for him. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, I guess he
That's
thought the
not
band
very
was actually
far.
going to retire, but I guess not.
They're not. They're gonna keep going. I just read that
He's earned
also.
he's earned his stripes. I kind of hated what they did to him in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They just made him a background singer, for that.
They made Lou Graham a background singer too. So
Pretty much, yeah. But
yeah.
he's a nice guy. It seems like. I don't know what else to say except, you know, he's earned his stripes from the band. I think so. People shouldn't shit on him. Some people don't like him, this and that for that reason. Replacing Lou Graham, but he was
I mean,
okay.
dude,
It's
he
I don't
a
did
know
a
what else to
great.
foreigner.
say.
He
It's a
did a
foreigner
great
cover
job.
band. It's not foreigner.
It
Yeah,
is,
but
yeah. But Lou Graham did play with him in South America, which is pretty cool. Uh, Lou Graham still
yeah,
sounds pretty good for an old man. Gotta give him that, man.
Yeah, and Steve Hackett plays with Genesis cover bands sometimes.
yeah.
All right, guys. You guys got any final thoughts? Let's get the fuck out of here.
Get
Jerry?
out of here. No, I'm good, man.
You don't got anything to promote, bitch? You got your podcast, man. You got your Heavy Water 77.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I'll let Joseph promote this one. Promote it for us, man.
Heavy Water 77. It's a thing. You should check it out.
You
Yeah.
should.
No, Jerry
Learn
and I's
it.
Sticks
Live it.
channel. Yeah.
Like it. Love it.
Yeah. No, we're having a great time so far. We've done 3 episodes. We're going to be wrapping up the Wooden Nickel era here soon in a couple of weeks. We have a really cool episode idea planned for that. Moving on to the albums that everyone knows and loves. Although, as Jerry and I would both say, if you don't know the Wooden Nickel albums, you should.
You should, yes.
We just put out Sticks 2 last week. I think that is a phenomenal album, and I'm extremely happy that I was able to revisit it for this channel. I think it's a
you recognize a little tune off that one, probably.
Yeah, you might know. There's a song that you might know that they pull out every now and then live.
Yeah.
Hey, Lady is what got Tommy Shaw the job.
Yeah, because he could hit the high notes.
Young, it always reminds us that was a song that got him going. It was a song
Yep.
of, hired Tommy Shaw. We know. Thanks, Dennis.
I'm a huge Tommy Shaw nut swinger.
Oh yeah. But yeah. So please, if you like Sticks, if you don't like Sticks, if you like us, check it out.
Exactly.
We're having a great time. We really hope that everyone enjoys it as well. We're going to start bringing in guests here soon. We have a cool guest planned for our Wooden Nickel wrap up show that we'll reveal here soon in the coming weeks. But yeah, if you like Sticks, if you like music, if you like classic rock, if you just like people talking about stuff that they're passionate about.
Oh, by the way, Ricky, Ricky Phillips, please respond back to my email. I know it was kind of I'm just throwing my line out there, but like I said, you can't hit a home run unless you go to bat. So,
hey, man, he's great in the Babies.
He was great in Sticks.
Bad English, he was good in that band too.
He was great in that band too. Yeah. A lot of people give John Waite a lot of shit. Fuck off.
I like John Waite.
I love John Waite too. Hey, Mooger, you got anything to say, man? Final thoughts?
It's all love, guys. Love, subscribe, leave us 5 stars even if you hate us.
You know what? Fuck it. Leave us 6 stars if it's possible. Just add a star. Just draw a pencil in a star.
Hey,
be original.
Our last Cheap Trick episode is almost like to 900.
Wow, that's feeling good.
Imagine that.
Probably because I wasn't on it.
Eddie Conestracci even texted me and says, "Dude, your hard work is paid off." And I go, "Well, it's because of Mooger and Jerry that has got us this far, because Lee is like Frank Zappa." I'm just saying, Lee is like Frank Zappa. When I got Jerry and Mooger on here, it took off. Just saying.
Who the hell is Mainskin?
Manskin.
Maneskin.
I always see this girl playing bass.
I have seen her live.
Yeah,
up close.
Maneskin. Yeah,
it's nice to look at.
Very nice.
Yeah, Jerry,
follow her on Instagram. She's a EDM girl.
Victoria something, right?
Hey,
her name?
Kiki Wango in the Smashing Pumpkins.
I've been girl too.
Her before she was in Smashing Pumpkins.
I was too. You're right. You were, because I saw your name on there. So
yeah, I kept fucking following her, and then she joined Smashing Pumpkins. I go, fuck yeah, she's amazing.
I was following Nita Strauss before she was in Alice Cooper's band.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying,
Maidens.
Just saying, support music, old, new, crusty, whatever. Support your artists, man. Get them out there, because I'm going to say what Cobras and Fires say: rock is not dead.
It just smells.
Yeah, support it. Support it. You're going to end up with fucking Sia, Ice Spice.
Hey, you got, what's that one girl, Cardi B, had one album in 2017 with WAP? Okay. Whatever.
Would you like to explain to the audience what WAP stands for, Mark?
Wet ass pussy.
That's it.
It sucks. Let's get the fuck out of here, guys. Later, guys.
Well, wet ass pussy doesn't suck, but the song did. All right, later, guys.
Later,
Sorry, that was too much.
Horrible. Bye.